Welcome to Black Girl Diagnose. Today's guest is Kathleen Cat Lee, an autistic educator, writer, creative, and yoga teacher based in San Francisco. Kat blends storytelling, mindfulness, and embodiment to create inclusive spaces for neurodivergent and neurotypical learners through work with Mindful Bloom Studio. Thank you, Kat, so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to talk today.
Yes, and like I told you off air, I'm really excited to have you here. Your page, Kathleezy, is such a breath of fresh air, and we need that from time to time, especially being that so much of us are, fighting against racism and the disparities that go on in autism. It is just breath of fresh air to see the things that you're doing and to see your page and to come on your page. It always puts me in a good mood.
Oh,
Okay.
that's my hope. And like that's really like where I come from is I want people to leave feeling a little bit lighter. So yeah.
Yeah, when you followed me and I followed you back, I'm not gonna lie, I was on your page. I was like, oh my goodness, she's so creative. And I'm a sucker for creatives, being one myself.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna stop blabbing now and we're gonna get into the interview.
Okay, cool.
All right, so you mentioned hitting a crossroad and slowing down after burnout. What did unmasking and rebuilding your life with more clarity and compassion look like for you?
Honestly, a lot of unmasking is going inward.
Mhm.
And before I found out that I was autistic, I was already on this like self-discovery journey of really wanting to understand, my internal world and to just feel like I could be better equipped for the external world. So, unmasking for me started really with my yoga practice of just like moving and breathing and feeling a little like just making space for that. And on the yoga mat, I felt like I had like an hour where I was just like truly myself.
Yeah.
So my like goal was like, how can I replicate that outside of a yoga studio, off of the yoga mat, and just like feel like this all the time? And so, it's a constant, I don't want to say struggle, but it's like constant work to like remember how long I've been masking for and like that there were times when it was necessary, but also the unmasking is just as necessary, right? Just having that space where you're like, I don't need to be someone other than like who I truly am. So like that
Right.
was really where my journey began, was just trying to find ways to like just be me and be okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like when you learned that you were masking, did you always know that you were masking, or did you learn that it wasn't like a healthy behavior and that you were doing it? Once you learned that, did you know you were masking before you was diagnosed as autistic?
I felt like, okay, so it's kind of really interesting for me because I have a background in theater and in drama. Like, for as long as I can remember, I've loved theater, right? And so I loved pretending to be different people. I loved having Barbies and having them have these like real situations. And so I feel like I built this like sort of mask all the way through life where I didn't know that that was what I was doing. Like, in certain situations where like I wanted to just fit in with girls at school, I could see how they would treat other girls. And then I would know, like, oh, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this and they'll like me. And so it just became a way for me to like observe the world around me and to figure out what role I wanted to play. And because I loved theater and I loved pretending, it was just a natural evolution that, like, quickly as I grew up, spiraled into just really not even knowing my true identity at a
Yeah.
certain point where I was like, who am I? I've tried on so many different masks at this point. And it didn't even feel like when I took off the mask, I was like, I don't even know if I like the person that's behind the mask. So it was a very big like identity crisis and shift once I found out my diagnosis.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I've been in and out of theater programs since I was a little girl. I stopped for a long time and I started again about 2 years ago. But being undiagnosed and being late diagnosed as an adult, I theater was easy for me because I didn't know why I was different and I didn't know who I was. So it was like, okay, well, I can make this character whoever I want this character to be, and I can escape inside of this character and bring it to life. So theater really helped me out too. And I speak about theater often with people who have autistic children because it has been proven to help autistic people with a lot of things, which you know that, but I can relate to that so much.
Yeah, I think that's like, you know, like theater is so great because in one of the theaters that I worked in, they used to call it an empathy gym, where like you go in and it's like a gym. You have to work out. You have to like build compassion and like exercise that. But within theater and within drama and just like all of the circumstances of like creating these worlds, we're able to step in the shoes of other people. And so I feel like it offered me that to a certain extent. And it wasn't until, I reached autistic burnout that I
Mm.
realized all of the masking, all of the parts that I was playing was ultimately erasing all of the things that made me me. And I didn't even know who I was anymore. And
Yeah.
that was the most devastating point in my life to like come to this realization of like, oh no, you're not broken. You're just different. But who are you at the same time? So it was a very challenging time. But yeah, and it's nonlinear. So it's something that like, a week ago I was still feeling or grieving that process of unmasking and what happens, the relationships that you lose and the people that you thought would be there to support you, but they were really, they really fell in love with the mask. They fell in love with
Yes.
the person that you
Yes.
were pretending.
That is such like an odd feeling because even though like we mask, we're still in there somewhere. So it
Yeah.
is strange when you lose people because you decided that, okay, I'm gonna stop unmasking, but why do we have to make ourselves uncomfortable to make for the comfort of others? So like grieving people that you lose when you really become yourself, because I'm going through that right now. People don't speak enough about the grief that comes with losing people who were in love with the mass version of you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so hard. It's devastating, honestly. I have so many friends that I really love and I cherish the memories that we've had. And I realize now, like, people come in your life for a season, a reason, or they're there for the lifetime, right? But for the most part, I feel like I would cling on to relationships and cling on to people because I just didn't want them to leave. I didn't want to feel
Yeah.
the absence of them when they were gone. But at the same time, in this space of my life, I'm really leaning into like, if it's right, it will come back, or friends will come and go and it doesn't diminish what was there. But at this place and time, whatever reason, you know, I shouldn't have to mask to remain friends or to keep that relationship, to keep that job.
Right.
I need to be able to be my authentic self, and we should be able to talk about that or overcome the obstacles. And if we can't, then it's not meant to be in this time.
Yeah, and as painful as it is, sometimes you do have to let people go to protect yourself and to protect your peace and everything that you're going through, knowing and becoming your true self, you have to protect that. So like I understand that. So I want to get right into Mindful Bloom Studio. What
Yeah.
inspired you to start it and what do you hope it grows into as a mindfulness and storytelling centered space?
Oh my gosh, this is my little seed. This is my little seed that I am planting right now. And it's so precious to me because I really feel like, I mean, maybe it's out there. Maybe there someone else has created this, but I haven't found it. So I'm trying to be that person that like builds that world or that reality or that community that I'd love to see. And so for me, I really wanted to blend something for the mind, body, and spirit, like an enrichment
Mhm.
program or classes, retreats, things to uplift and inspire and to give space to people who need it to be able to create and to feel and to build that connection within, your community or just with another person. And so my hope is to, be able to offer the classes that I teach and the workshops that I lead, or even the one-on-one coaching. So it's really a multifaceted company that I'm really excited to start. But yeah, it's something that I'm really excited to do. I've already started by hosting my first workshop for yoga for neurodiversity, where I gave a amazing workshop to some amazing locals in San Francisco, where we met and talked about yoga, like and how my yoga practice helped me to reinvent my life and to reevaluate how I'm showing up in the world and weaving together storytelling and, understanding the self and your own journey and how moving and breathing and feeling a little different can help you to show up as your true self in life. So that's ultimately what I hope Mindful Bloom blooms into. Um, and yeah, so that's really where it came from.
Well, I think that's amazing. I feel like it's something that's definitely needed. You don't, it's really hard to find activities, retreats, things like that that are inclusive and take the needs of neurodivergent people that consider us, that think about us. So I really
Mm,
think that is amazing, definitely.
yeah.
So as an autistic educator, why is creating truly inclusive and acceptable environments so important to you for neurodivergent and neurotypical learners?
Well, I think it's really I started to see myself reflected from the people that I was seeing create content. And even from you, right? Like I saw myself reflected and it made me feel like less alone. And especially in the darkest times of my life, I needed that reflection. I needed that person to anchor me, to let me know you are not alone and you still have so much more to give to the world, even in your weakest or lowest point in time. And so I think that by finding more people out there, all over the world that are living, breathing, doing their own thing, it helped me to see my own self reflected and that I could do that and be that same mirror or that same anchor for another person. Um,
Mhm.
so I think it's just so important and being a autistic person sharing this and keeping it inclusive and pulling neurotypicals in and saying like you're a part of this too, right? Like we have to exist together and the more that
Yes.
we can align and understand each other, have that compassion and that empathy, the better this world would be. So I just think it's so important in
And
creating that
like
world.
because a lot of times people don't understand that being neurodivergent, we have to bend a lot and sometimes we break.
Mm,
So the fact that you're pulling neurotypical people in, showing them that they're a part of this too, they absolutely are because like I said, we break sometimes. So I feel like they can bend just a little bit for us, make a little space for
yeah.
us. So the
Mhm.
whole inclusion, including everybody. We are really all in this together, and we have to exist in the same world. Even though our minds aren't wired for this world, this is where we have to exist.
Yeah.
I was wondering that if you felt like your theater and storytelling and yoga show up in the way you teach and the way you create and build community.
Oh, yes. It shows up even when I don't want it to. I'm like, it's so funny because I have to constantly tell people and give people context of like, I come from the theater. So when I step into a yoga studio, they're expecting some like Zen yogi, like, and I'm just like this boisterous, like, hey, obviously it depends on the class. If it's a very like gentle, soft class, I'm not going to come in like a bull. But at the same time, I am taking ownership. I am taking up space as myself. And there was a time where I was putting on a mask as a yoga teacher of like, this is how a yoga teacher should be. This is how a yoga teacher should act. I was doing that in drama class too, where like I was wearing like all black, whereas like yoga or drama teachers wear black. They're drama they're doing all of this stuff. And it was so not me. I'm the person that's going to show up in bright, colorful clothing. You can see
Too.
my shirt. It's Hello Kitty. And a and then, I'm just like, I want to be myself. I want to make space for the individual that I am. And I felt like as I aged, I was putting on a mask and being how a 21-year-old looked, how a 32-year-old looked. And, today I'm 36 and I dress like a kindergartner if I want to. My socks won't match. My
Me
hair,
too, and I don't care. I don't care what
I just,
anybody.
but I feel good. And that's all that matters. And if I can be an example and another person sees that and it's like, you know what? I'm going to do what I want to do today. I'm going to dress how I want. And it only matters about how I feel. And so, you know, in that sense, I have found that my yoga practice and my drama, I'm able to like whatever space that I'm in now, from the work that I've been doing, I'm able to like truly honor my authentic self.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I feel like also as millennials, um, people are hard on us because when we were children, they didn't really, autism was for white boys. So, like, after my diagnosis, that's when I started to express myself. That's when I started buying Care Bears and Hello Kitty, and that's when I started, but I wear Hello Kitty too, and I just like to express myself through fashion, but I didn't feel that it was okay before because I was masking. Once I unmasked, all my personality came out, the way that I dressed, the way I expressed myself through fashion, all of that came out, and it took an autism diagnosis and to me to learn you've been masking your whole life for that to happen. So that brings me right into this next question. Your Instagram, which I love, started as part of your unmasking journey. How did that evolve into this whimsical, nostalgic, inner child healing space you created?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So speaking from my heart, I hope I don't cry right now. But it's okay if I do. Um, but I wanted to have an excuse. This is when I took my personal Instagram account from like just college when I got my Instagram and I just would post like any random thing, right? But it took a turn right around like 2019, um, after a trip to Disneyland. And I went for Dapper Day weekend and I saw a group of Black creators who were Disney nerds, just like me. And they
Wow.
were like a group of them. And I saw them and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to be friends with them. And I just started following their Instagram accounts and I saw like Black Girl Disney. And Black Girl Disney is the account that really was my gateway into honoring myself and my inner child and giving myself the freedom to be myself and unapologetically black, beautiful, and a Disney nerd. Like, so, um,
That's
I,
all.
yeah, and I had a friend and I was like, my biggest goal is just to be featured. Like, I just want my picture posted on Black Girl Disney, and I feel like I will have made it. I will have done what I wanted to do on my Instagram account. And that little like thought and wish like was literally the best thought and wish that I've ever had because it led me to the amazing, 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 amazing women of Black Girl Disney and the community that's there. And that showed me all of the different people, that were doing it. And they gave me that kind of like permission to just nerd out and be black and bold and unapologetic. And so that really like it gave me an excuse because at 2020, the pandemic happened, and that was when I learned about being autistic, because my routine got thrown off, and I literally was like, I don't know how to exist. This is autistic burnout, and it was just really hard. And so I needed an excuse to get out of bed. So going out in San Francisco and finding a beautiful house, putting on a pretty dress, and Disney bounding as a character helped me to like start that. And so, yeah, that's ultimately what led me on this road and so many different other partnerships with other brands and things, working with Disney that I just didn't even know was even possible. And so I'm really, really grateful for that.
Yeah, that's really cool. So you talked about wanting to teach around the world and host retreats and even write children's books, which I think is so cool because I do children's books. What do you hope these future dreams and projects bring to the people you connect with?
Yeah. Well, I love traveling. I love going to different countries, different cultures, and immersing myself in the community. And I love just meeting new people. I've held a few different workshops in Sweden and I'm trying to think of all the places that I've been that I've done it in New Orleans and in Costa Rica. So there's like different things that I've done that I'm like, oh, I want to do this again. I want to be able to expand it. And so um, I hope that I can meet, people of all ages and be able to work with them and use their stories, their creativity to help them move, breathe, and feel a
Yeah,
little more.
that's so important, especially all ages, because little
Mhm.
black autistic girls need to be able to look up and see, okay, well, I'm not weird. There is somebody else out there like me. Us as millennials, we need to be able to look around and be like, okay, well, we're not freaks, we're not alone. And even the generation before us who were late diagnosed, they can look back and be like, okay, well, it's not too late for me to be my true self. So all of that is so important. And I just can really commend you for doing that because it's not hard to like step out and follow your dreams because you always got somebody saying something, but
Mhm.
it's very commendable.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. I'm really excited about that. And, I have some friends that have done that, right? Like that go out and go for their dreams. And those are the people that help me to see that I have that same capability, that I can do it too. So I just
Yeah.
hope to be that for someone one day.
Yeah, and like with me, like it's hard for me to like tell people my dreams who don't have their own dreams because they try to talk you
Hmm.
out of your dreams or they discourage you. Like when I had told somebody that I was gonna start going back to theater, going back with my theater friends and having our theater nights, and they were like, "Well, why? What do you want to do that for?" And so I very careful about who I tell things to when it comes to my dreams.
Hmm.
But do you have any recent projects you'd like to share?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay. So, well, Mindful Bloom Studio is in the works. I'm launching a Kickstarter pretty soon, so I'm hoping to have that up by the first of the year. And I am hosting a retreat, or well, I'm co-hosting a retreat, and it's really exciting because it's my first one where I'm traveling and going to Jamaica to teach some yoga to a group of Swifties. It's going to be really fun. I'm a huge Swiftie too, so that's like one of my special interests. But yeah, so those are the two things that I'm really working on. I've been trying to honestly, this year has been a year of pause so that next year is really my year of go. So right
Okay.
now it's a really a period of going inward and trying to launch my studio online and get my classes up and running by January 1st. So that's the big project. And then this month of December, I am doing Vlogmas. So every day I'm going to be posting and sharing what my year has been like for pausing and just reflecting. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that's all really great and really wonderful. And
Yeah.
I can relate to stopping and being ready for next year because that's what I'm going through now. I'm trying to sit still. I'm not
Mhm.
doing other people's podcasts. I'm just doing my podcast.
Yeah.
But I just I feel that so bad. Um, what do you want people to know about you or take away from this interview?
Well, I want people to know that the little child inside of them and the teenager that's inside of them, and even the person that they aspire to be or grow up to be, all of those versions of themselves lives within them. And to be able to like care a little bit more for themselves. And ultimately, when you're able to do that and you make space for those versions of you, you're able to have that same amount of compassion for others. And I feel like so much of my struggles day to day are rooted in ableism and a lack of understanding. And all I want from my page and from everything that I hope to share and bring in this world is to leave this world a little lighter and happier, but to also build that compassion and that empathy. So I hope that people hear that from this discussion and can see that reflected in the work that I create.
I think that I think you've accomplished that.
Thank
Besides your amazing Instagram, Kathleen, where can everyone find you?
Oh, I also have a YouTube. My YouTube is where I'm really trying to go. So please, anyone follow me on YouTube or subscribe to my channel. It's also Kathleen. You'll see Cat Meets Magic at the top. Lots of fun travel over there and theme park content. So if you want to have a good time with me in the parks, that's where you want to go. I'm also on TikTok as well, Kathleen. Um, and I have my Disney Adult Swiftie channel that I created as well. Never Grow Up, Darling. And that is all things folklore, fantasy, Taylor Swift, and stories. So that's where you'll find all my other content.
Okay, so you guys make sure you go and follow her. She has amazing content. I'm gonna make sure I go and subscribe to her YouTube channels. But thank you so much, Kat, for sharing your wonderful story and your wisdom with us today. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to Black Girl Diagnosed. Your presence and support means everything. Until next time, take care and keep advocating with love.
Bye.